that's even more of your KFC favorites to share. So gather the family, call your friends, and make it a Sunday feast like no other. Only at KFC, where Sundays are made tastier. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Yes, Sean. Welcome to the Sean Dever Sports Watch. It's Tuesday, June 9, 2026. I'm Sean Devers inviting you to join me tonight. On this program, we talk about the Petra and Bihari group. They're collaborating with the Ministry of Education. They're holding an under 19 secondary schools 2020 cricket tournament. And we have in the studio Troy Peters, who's representing Petra, and we've got online Azizi Christiani from Essequibo. He's the tournament coordinator and, of course, the marketing executive of the Bihari Group of Company, Melissa Sylvester. And at 8 o'clock, we talk with West Indies cricket with Tony Gray, the former West Indies fast bowler, Philo Wallace, the Barbados and West Indies opener, and of course Basil Butcher, the US-based Guyanese, the son of Basil Butcher. He is a fitness trainer. This program comes to you with the compliments of KFC, Nomilco, Builders Lumberyard, Survival Supermarket, Dave's West Indian Imports, and Sterling Products Limited. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Those are there. Yes, good night to you. Yeah, good night to you, Melissa. Good night to you, Azizi. See, I pronounced your name right now, eventually.
Good evening.
Yeah, let's start with Troy Peters. How has Petra, who's usually football, gotten involved in this tournament?
Well, in fact, Petra was actually approached because of the skill set
Of
in
organizing
schools tournaments. And I remember a conversation I had with the head of the unit of Allied Arts, Mr. Nicholas Fraser, sometime last year. And he was, speaking about, difficulty in securing sponsorship for some of their programs, the physical education programs. So I said, well, I will look around, check, and so on. And also, at that time, Bihari was looking to sponsor a school's tournament. So we started to have a conversation. While it was we were a bit hesitant in the interim because everybody knows us through football and so on. But, I've been involved in cricket at international level, planning and so on, and Zizi. So we decided to, convince the Petra Group that we'll be able to do it, and that's how this program came about.
All right, Azizi, what are the dates for the tournament, and which days the matches will be played on?
Okay, good night, everyone. We're basically looking at Saturdays and Sundays. This is basically to not interrupt the instructional time of the secondary schools. The start of the tournament will be the 13th of this month, starting to June. The 13th, the 14th, the 20th, 21st, 27th, and the 28th. That will be the dates for the zonal playoffs.
All right, 80 teams from Essequibo, Demerara, and Berbice are scheduled. This is the first ever National Secondary Schools Under-19 tournament ever. I stress on ever. Petra, who, as Troy said, is mostly dealing with football, the Ministry of Education and Bihari group of companies have collaborated. How did this come about? This is a question for Melissa.
Good night, everyone. I think it just aligned. As Troy said, Petra was thinking about a cricket tournament. I'm so used to Petra and football, forgive me. They're looking at a cricket tournament, and coincidentally, from the Bihari group side, we also looking at a cricket tournament because the Bihari group has always been a sponsor of sport. We have been involved in youth basketball, football, cricket at the tournament and player level. And we just felt that the next step in that sponsorship and that way of giving back is through the schools. And so we wanted to do a tournament that really tapped into the talent that abounds across the country through the school and to create that excitement and interest back into cricket in a meaningful way. And so we approached Petra, and as Troy said, Petra was initially hesitant because they're known for football. But, after much deliberation and really speaking to what we want to do for the children, they eventually came on board. And here we are today.
You're from Trinidad, right?
I am, yes.
Right. Well, Tony Gray, who is not supposed to be on the program until 8 o'clock, he's also from Trinidad, but he's a coach, and he coaches young people, and I have him ask him, what is the school's program like in Trinidad? Tony.
Yeah, well, good evening to everyone. Good evening to you, Sean. Good evening to your panel, and good evening to your listeners and viewers. It's not as vibrant as it used to be when it pertains to cricket. A lot of things have shortened. For example, there's a lot of T20 cricket being played in schools, and I don't think that that format is the right format to really develop players. And obviously, players go through different stages of development. So I like to see it done in a progressive and logical, sequential manner. And we don't get it again. Brian Lara, for example, I could use that extreme case. He grew up playing, I think, that 3-day schools cricket. It was well organized and that sort of thing, and it built him to who he became, one of the greatest cricketers of all time. And people might say that's an extreme or an anomaly, but I don't agree with that at all. I think that we went through much more of a progress-oriented system that created the grades. So to me, I don't think that, the school system, especially when it pertains to T20 cricket, is doing the right thing. And, later on, we have to be reactive to a lot of the problems that these kids have. But competition in schools, very important. But to me, the development of players in the right way, strategic way, is much more important. And it's not really happening the way it did years ago.
Yeah, but when I played school cricket, we played 50 overs. Azizi, you played on the 15 level for Guyana. So you're talking as a former cricketer. Do you, and you understand cricket as a player, do you feel that 2020 cricket is the best format for schools? And was 30 overs at least considered?
Okay, so I would say 50 overs, 40 overs cricket is best. Yes, correct. Definitely the best format for schools. But in the case of Guyana, we haven't been playing any school cricket, and the company came to us with the plan of T20, and
but you're the
I
cricket
think
man. They don't know about cricket, so they wanted to sponsor a tournament. 10 overs
yeah,
wouldn't be much extra.
yes, that's true. But looking at the logistics, with adding 30 or adding 10 overs each to the innings, we would incur a lot more costs to play a 80 team competition, knowing that there are other competitions being played, like the football in the school tournaments. It would have a lot of clashes there for the length and the period which we have available to us. So 40 overs in or 30 overs, you will basically have one match per venue, right? And that now will give us basically 2 additional months of cricket, which we don't have that time or the human resource in the schools to carry out this event.
All right.
And
Tell us briefly about the format. Any one of you.
Well, I give
okay, so the
BCC
format of the tournament, we have 8 zones. The first zone is will be Region 1 and Region 2 combined. The second zone is Region 3 and Region 7 combined. The third zone is the West Coast Demerara. East Bank Demerara is the fourth zone. Fifth and sixth would be North and South Georgetown. East Coast Demerara is the seventh zone, the sixth zone, sorry. The two Barbies zones would be West Barbies and East Barbies currently. And we have a zonal playoff where there will be a zonal champion crowned. And from that, uh, it will be played in knockout format, the zonal playoffs. When the 8 teams are crowned as zonal champions, they will go to the national tournament and they will be placed in 2 groups of 4, and that will be done in a round robin format.
All right, that's wonderful. At least you're covering all of Guyana. In my days when I played, and I'm sure your days too, the hinterland schools were never involved. People from the hinterland came down to play and so on in under 19 cricket for clubs, but they were never involved at the school level. Melissa, why did Bihari get involved in this?
It really was a natural progression for us. We have been involved in cricket over the years. I know that we would have sponsored through KFC, we would have been in a sponsor of TPL. Through Edward B. Bihari and the brand champion in Indy, we are sponsor of GSL. We had Chandapal as a brand ambassador. We now have Moti as a brand ambassador. And it's so much in the DNA of the Bihari group that we wanted to go beyond and really touch the up and coming talent and give them an opportunity. And you mentioned the hinterland. That was also quite important for
Yeah.
us because a lot of the tournaments, they happen within Georgetown and the more popular regions.
Yeah, the coastal areas.
And yes. And there is so much talent that is beyond that remains untapped and unseen. So we wanted to give an opportunity to those regions and those schools to really showcase themselves and get the opportunities that are available to them.
And what about coaches and umpires and so on? Coaches to teach the teachers. That's very important at this level, especially for the hinterland schools. And so those guys might be 17, 18, but they're still not equipped with the proper technique that some of the coastlanders might have, which most of them don't have at that age. That's sad. But what about coaches going into schools? Who's responsible for sending coaches and umpires to cover this tournament?
Okay, so the coaches, well, we basically rely on the coaches in each zone. In the Borby zone, we have a national coach, Amir Rahman. In the Georgetown zone, we have I think it's either level 2 or level 3. Yeah, I think it's level 2. Coach Karishma Ramnath. In this zone, we have Parameshwar Prasad, who was the one who designed the playing conditions of the tournament. He assisted me with that. And in terms of the umpires, we are using mostly past players, current senior players, and coaches to assist with the umpiring. In the national tournament, which would be the round robin aspect of it, that's where we will tap into more of the professional umpires to deal with that part of the tournament. So the reason why we're using coaches and current players for this aspect of it is so that as they're umpiring, they would
They
be able
could
to
teach
coach the
the
players
youngsters,
along.
yeah.
Correct.
All right. This is a question for everyone. How were the schools selected?
In fact, there were about, I think they have about 105 schools, secondary schools in Ghana.
Yeah, and they brought it down to 80.
Right. In fact, we wanted to capture all, but then when you look at the logistics in some areas, even the movement of some of these schools, because initially we did not even think about Region 1. But then, as he said, well, he can get them to come on board. So that's where, we try to tap in, Bartico and all these other areas that you would have players with the potential. So they're now getting the exposure that is needed. But you see, when we look at this program, I think that most of Petra's program, we have been able to tap into a lot of the hinterland schools, right? So that was a plus for us in getting the schools involved. But even at this stage, while we look at it, some of the schools are, still trying to get themselves together. So we know that this is a startup, but I know that the main reason for this program is to give the players an opportunity to get back into cricket, because we've been seeing, cricket dying, the youngsters are not showing that interest. So we had to bring something to them to get them back into the game. And this is one of the reasons why, we decided to look at it in that way, to get them at least interested, and then it will grow from there. We can look at the 13, 40 over. We want to get them back into cricket, and then we move it from there.
Azizi, you know Delroy Jacobs from Bartica, right? The minister within the Ministry of Sports, his cousin, Stephen Jacobs' cousin. He is a coach in Bartica. He played for Guyana under 19. He lived a lot of years in Barbados. He played club cricket there. So you could contact him. He's one of the coaches in Bartica. He could volunteer his services. I know he's a good guy. He's a wicket keeper. And he's produced a couple of national youth players. So you could contact him from Bartica and see what he could assist in doing. But coming back to the question of scorers. Now, I know Karishma is basically a scorer. She scores for the intercounty and so on, and I depend on her for that. Good night, Karishma. I always call her Karishma Kapoor. But if Karishma now is one of the coaches, what about the scorers? Because for this to go publicly in the media, you've got to get proper scoring, full names. You don't have to get balls and so on. But you have to get full names, runs, wickets. And are there enough scorers to score in 80 matches?
Okay.
Well, it wouldn't
so,
be 80 matches, it would be 40 matches, because two teams play against each other.
Okay, so we have scorers attached to each zone. These scorers were identified by our zonal coordinators. I must say that we have a coordinator for each zone, and they have made our work very light by doing these groundwork in the zone. And for scoring, yes, that's one of the most important things, which is why as early as we were deciding on how many schools we would be having, we spoke about having the scoring being done electronically. So we will have electronic scoring done across the country. So at any part of the world you want to view the scores, you'll be able to view it. We'll be using the Stumps app. We have already started inputting the squads. So Zone 1, which is the Region 1 and Region 2 zone, and also part of the Region 6 zone, the squads have already been inputted. And you can go right now and view it. Type in BRE group of companies on the 19 schools tournament, and you'll be able to view some of that information. It also shows a countdown to when the games will begin.
All right. Well, I'm a member of the Guyana Cricket Umpires and Scorers Association, and it was difficult at first to get scorers to man the app. When I say man, I mean female and men. To man the app. How big a challenge was that to have enough people who understand technology to go and score with the app?
Well, I think is basically having patience with the person. You first have to have patience to teach them the scoring on the app. And what I looked for was the persons who are already
Doing
equipped
it.
with cricket knowledge.
Yeah.
So the scoring would not be anything much. It would just be basically understanding how to navigate it.
Yeah, just putting
So
in the correct things.
correct,
And the
right,
app does most of the things for you.
correct.
All right, Melissa, would this be an annual event?
Yes, we hope to make it a staple on the calendar, the sporting calendar for Guyana, and we have the support of a lot of the companies, all the companies within the group. So you may have seen the launch of the Naliko Nafico insurance
Yeah.
policy that is going to be governing the tournament, which is quite comprehensive. We have the
That stick a
bank
pin. That is very, very good, because even at the senior level, the players are not insured, all of them. Some of them are insured, but insuring players who play a competitive sport, if you get hit or whatever, at least at the school level, some parents wouldn't have enough money to go and fix their children's head and so on. I got hit in my head when I was 16 playing a match, and that maybe got me a tumor eventually. I had to go and do surgery, but that's for another day. That is a very good initiative. Who came up with that initiative to insure the players?
Well, as part of the
Yeah.
Petra program, we make sure all the players are insured. So we approach again within the Bihari group. They have insurance. So right away, Nadico and Nafico sign on. So that helped to get, so it's about 1,600 players, and also the insurances has been extended to the scorers and other umpires and so on participating.
The coaches also.
Yes, so it's not just for the players, but it's coverage for people, most of the people participating in the tournament.
All right, and what would you like this to come out of this? Melissa first, and then the others of you can go. As the main sponsor, what would you like
Yeah.
to see come out of this?
For us, it's seeing that rejuvenation and excitement of cricket at the school level that will eventually feed into the club level, into the national level, regional and international level. So really giving that space and that opportunity for the talent that is in Guyana to be discovered, and for Guyana to once again be that main source of talent for cricketers in the region and internationally. So really ensuring that the excitement of the game comes back, the passion for the game is there, and that pool of talent is available for selection and for development.
You've got a group in Trinidad also, Bihari?
Yes, so we do have a company, it would be Bihari and Company Trinidad Limited, yes.
Okay. Well,
Let me just,
yeah, Tony.
Sean,
Yeah.
let me just say something. I think it's wonderful for sponsors to come on board at the U team level, all right? Because the goals and objectives of everybody on this panel, I know I'm a bit early, is to, try to recreate the interest. And we know that cricket is being competed against with different sports not just different sports, but the technology, phones, and that sort of thing. And it's great that sponsors come on board in a strategic manner. Everything has to be strategic because they're spending a lot of money and a lot of money involved to try to recreate the interest. And as Melissa said, quite frankly, that's what should be happening stage by stage to push them into clubs, into communities, and then into national teams and international teams. So it sounds good, and I want to compliment the sponsors here this evening.
Yeah, I endorse whatever you said, all what you said. To me, I came from a school system. I joined Maltinos when I was still in school. I played for Maltinos, but if your school is playing in a tournament, you had to play for your school. And if your club is playing in a tournament and you're going to school, you still have to play for your school. And that was the rule. It was the NSC in those days that caused that to happen, that rule. But this is a tremendous boost for young people. That's the excitement level building already. Looking forward to training, looking forward to getting on the field. What type of clothes they will be wearing? Colored clothes? Aziz?
Yes, colored clothes, white ball.
Yeah, nice.
And what we're doing also, when we reach to the playoff stage, we have we'll be providing full kit
Nice.
for the top 8 teams competing in the playoffs. So it is that's part of the thing. I know we've spoken so much, but we didn't even mention when this tournament is starting. So,
Yes, I asked the dates.
yeah, but this weekend is when everything will start.
The 11th,
The 13th.
the 13th.
That's right.
And so all the zones will start on the same time?
Well, you know, we have difficulty with the weather in Georgetown,
Yeah.
so we have one eye on that. But I know for sure, as Equibo, we've seen the conditions of the ground, the playing areas, and so on, and everything seemed to be in good condition in Essequibo. We were hoping to make a start also in West Demerara and also Berbice this weekend as well.
Well, Berbice has the majority of young cricketers who are interested. Maybe because Essequibo also don't have as much distractions, but Berbice, the players in Berbice love cricket. So that would be better or easier to get Berbicians playing cricket. They love cricket in Berbice, and they've got a passion for cricket. So this is a very wonderful initiative by Melissa and her Bihari group, and also Petra getting involved for the first time, even though you're known for football. I commend you to getting into support cricket. That's my sport.
It's all about sport, but it's just, getting the right mix and getting it done. Because, we've been talking about sport. But unless somebody sees the initiative, it would never happen.
Right.
So because, like early this year, we decided to do into what we call tertiary education for program.
Yeah.
And that brought out 16 institutions from across the country for the first time ever.
Yeah, and
So-
back in the days, the tertiary cricket team was part of the CCC. Players like Garfield Moore
Right.
came from UG and played in the regional tournament, but they don't have cricket in Guyana anymore at UG, well, proper cricket. So this is all we've got time for. Anything you want to say finally?
Well, I will give Azizi the opportunity. So over to you, Azizi.
Okay, so I'll just answer the question you asked. What we are looking to get out of this tournament, what we're looking to see. As many would know, some may not know, that I'm a physical education teacher, and my reason for joining the teaching profession is not just that I was always interested in being a teacher, but I saw it as an arena that I can promote sports in the schools. I was happy when I was called upon to assist with this tournament. And I think that this tournament will push some children into creating a career out of cricket. It's not even just about them creating a career as a cricketer.
You could be a commentator,
Some
you could be
some
a
may become
scorer, you could be
correct.
an umpire, you could be anything in cricket. And that pays a lot
Correct.
of money now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everything is about
So
money now.
yes. So my thing is education, academics is important, yes,
Yes.
but this part of it is also very
A-
important if we
And
look at
playing a
our
sport also gets your concentration level higher. So when you go to school, you concentrate better. People think
correct.
that it's just academics. Some people write in 22 subjects. I
Yeah,
wonder why, what they can get out of 22 subjects, and they don't
yeah,
play a sport. So that is very good balance. You've got to know how to
yeah,
manage your time, and that brings discipline also.
That's right.
And
correct.
in,
I
and in,
remember
in
when I
games
was
like
in
football and cricket, it's a team environment played among a lot of different people, different races. So you bond with people.
yeah. As I remember when I was in fifth form, that was when I was a part of the Guyana under 17 team. I was out 2 weeks for the intercounty, then 1 month at the under 19 intercounty, and then another month in not a month, let's say 3 weeks in Trinidad. So and I still came out of school with my 10 subjects, all 10 that I wrote. So I keep telling children, keep telling students that it's not always books, books, books. You can have a balance. It's about you balancing it. So I think that this tournament is going to make a big impact in this country. Some children, some students are going to use it as a way to learn the balance, and some will use it as a way to push themselves more into the tournament. And I must mention, we're expecting to have young Shamar Apple, Riaz Latif, who else? Altaf Ali. All these guys are talented players who have represented Guyana. All these talents will be a part of this tournament.
Okay, because all of them are going to school.
Correct.
Yeah. And Melissa, quickly, what you want to say? I'll have you again on a subsequent program later down in the tournament, because I'm very impressed with this initiative. It's, as I said, it's the first time ever national schools competition. The only disappointment, well, you can get it better next year, is the 2020 part of it. Anyhow, Melissa, your thoughts?
Yes. So it's for me it's a start. It's getting the excitement going. And I really would like to encourage everyone to come out and support the children. You know, come to the matches, cheer them on, give them that boost of confidence, help them to see the opportunities that are available to them through sport. And let's make this tournament a success for them more than anything else.
Well, I can guarantee you that the Barbicians and the Essequibians will come out in their numbers. I'm not so sure, but people in Georgetown especially, maybe other parts
Don't write
of
the soft
Demerara,
Sean. Don't write the soft Sean. You never know.
the parents, except in squash, you really don't see them coming out because they've got to work and they've got all sort of other things to do. Your final thoughts before we move on to talking about West Indies cricket?
Well, I would like to thank the Bihari group and the Ministry of Education, more especially, for being part of this program. We really appreciate the support given by both organizations as we look forward to roll out this initiative. And I know this is just the start for what we expect to be something big for cricket going forward.
Yeah, well,
in Guyana.
good night to my good friend Sonia Parang, Minister Sonia Parang. This is wonderful news. Anybody else want to say anything before we go?
I think I had enough.
All right.
That said,
Yeah. Let's go for a commercial break now. When we come back, we will be talking with Basil Butcher, Tony Gray, and Philo Wallace on West Indies cricket.
Surprise your family today with a nice vanilla-flavored cake made with Maid Marian cake flour. It's perfect for the birthday, anniversary, special occasion, or just celebrating the joy of having your family together. So get a pack or two of Maid Marian cake flour to make that moist, fluffy, vanilla-flavored sponge cake, donut-shaped cakes, Swiss rolls, and other delicious baked goods. Bring on the smiles with Maid Marian cake flour. Made and packaged not by hand by Nomilco, the National Milling Company of Guyana.
National Milling Company of Guyana.
Attention seafood suppliers. Dave's, the largest purchaser of fresh fish from Guyana, is interested in buying from you. Dave's deeply cares about bolstering the local economy and is looking to begin business with an eager seller of fresh fish and agro products. Dave's needs a constant supply of snapper, butterfish, bangameri, bundari crab, sheriga crab, white belly shrimp, bon carilo, edo, saijambaji, and more. Contact Dave's West Indian Imports at 21 Middle Street, Viceless, East Coast, Demerara. Telephone 501-4087 or 644-8999. Dave's will purchase.
Well, good evening, and again, welcome to those of you who are now joining us, those of you who are with us all the time. It's a splendid cricket program by Bihari Group of Companies and the Ministry of Education, and of course, the organizers, Petra. So let's talk about West Indies cricket now. We've got the former Trinidad and Tobago and West Indies fast bowler, Anthony Gray. We've got the former Barbados and West Indies opener, Philo Wallace, and we've got Basil Butcher Jr., fitness trainer. Guys, how disappointed were you? Well, God work is God work. That the rain fell and robbed West Indies a chance of winning that series. And how did they play to you in the first match they lost?
I think that I let the pacer go first.
Yeah, he's going to open the bowling with
You
a brand
muted
new ball.
pacer.
Right. So good evening to Basil. Good evening to Philo Wallace. Philo, I know you had a hard day today. You worked very hard, and then you went on another program. So I was very disappointed that the rain came to that degree and washed out both games after we lost. I was very disappointed that we lost the first game, obviously, because we wanted to not just get a good start against Sri Lanka, but accumulate points.
Yeah.
Because we want to avoid, having to go into qualifications.
Yeah.
And then, automatically qualify for the World Cup 2027. We won the International World Cup. So I was very disappointed. I was very disappointed with that we didn't really pick the right team initially for that first game. I thought that we should have played the extra batsman, not only because our players are a little shaky. When I say shaky, I don't think that Shea Hope played enough cricket before playing that one-day game initially. He should have played before the regional tournament, and also somebody like Matthew Ford. So I know that these guys would have been scratchy, out of form, and that's why I wanted the extra batsman. In addition to that, we have one player who opened the innings for us, Justin Graves, and that obviously good justification for that, because a couple of years ago he had 3 centuries, back-to-back centuries in the regional 50-over tournament. But he should have been used as a wrong player. So Sri Lanka went on to score over 300 runs, and we didn't bowl him at all. Initially, we started badly with that drop catch, Casey Carthy, the first ball, and Isanka went on to score 79 of 103 balls. I think that our bowling was not penetrative enough, not consistent enough. We bowled too many extra balls, too many wides, and obviously our team was not really well prepared as a unit for that encounter. Again, if we're not playing Shea Hope in the 50-over tournament or any regional tournament before the 50-over tournament is played, then all these things that happen would happen. The cramps that he got Obviously, Matthew Ford was going to miss the second game because of injury. All these things would have happened. So inactivity created some problems. So we didn't play the best that we could have played, and we lost by 41 runs.
Philo, how important is a 1-0 victory for Sri Lanka? And also, on the other side, how bad it is for the West Indies being beaten 1-0 in a three-match series that they didn't have the opportunity to play the other two matches. How important is that, as Philo said, to the World Cup qualification?
For the World Cup qualification for Sri Lanka, the 1-0 series win, it's a big boost. When you look at Sri Lanka's cricket, Sri Lanka has been going through a lot of fundamental changes, especially at the board level, where the Minister of Sports have taken over, disbanding the board and then put in an interim board. Kumar Sangakkara is part of that. ICC, they also have a hand in it. So it's a transitional period for Sri Lanka. Gary Kirsten, the coach, the former Indian, the former South African player, a former Indian head coach and South Africa head coach. He's taken up the reins now. He's the head coach of Sri Lanka. And looking at that first one-day game, you can see a difference in the attitude. You can see more energy. You can see more purpose being driven into their cricket. They've changed the captain as well. Kushal Mendes is the captain for the white ball series. And he's brought a different kind of cricket. He's played also successfully in the PSL. So Sri Lanka beating West Indies 1-0 is massive. So West Indies losing 1-0 obviously is a big dent to them in relation to getting automatic qualification for the World Cup. Our next encounter, our next 50-over series against New Zealand, we're playing them in Guyana and Barbados. And it's going to be interesting to see how West Indies shape up against New Zealand, who's supposed to be a stronger team than Sri Lanka. So we haven't done well for ourselves, and we have this thing about starting badly. And I endorse Tony Gray's point, as I say good evening to him and Basil, your listeners, is that I don't think our players play enough cricket. I don't think our players understand. I don't think our players understand the importance of playing cricket leading into a home series. And when you look at it, all players will be injured. I'm not surprised that Matthew Ford has a niggle and Shea Hope catch cramp, because I was told 4 weeks ago, could be, by a DOC, that the players don't need to play cricket. The stats have shown that they don't have to. All they need to do is load. And the only thing I know loading is loading cane. So if we don't play enough cricket and we want to play the national cricket on just loading, well, we can go to a load of injuries. So I don't get it, understand. And we've put ourselves again, we've put our foot in our mouths, and we have to fight from the back. We like coming from behind all the time to win. Now the T20 series is upon us. Rain is in the air in Jamaica. I would like to know if anybody ever checked the weather pattern in Jamaica before the one-day series started. If they asked the meteorological office what the weather is going to be like, because we had to beat Sri Lanka in those one-day games. So we had to start the first game properly. And I don't want to hear anything about preparation, because they went to Antigua and everybody said the camp was well run. They had a good time in the camp. We're having all these camps and we're still starting the series badly. So I don't know if they're camping out, because it's certainly, to me, when you look at that first ODI in Jamaica, we look woefully short of work. Kaieteur dropped the first ball of an ODI series. That sets the tone for everything.
And the batter made 70 odd, who he dropped. I
am not even interested in the batter scoring 70. I'm interested in Kaieteur, a man that we look to for West Indies cricket, dropping the first ball to dismiss a player in a home series. The first ball. That is a serious cost. The Sanka now is going 77, but to me, dropping the catch is more important. It's the first ball of the series that sets the tone. That means he's not tuned in to the series, despite all the camp that they had. So these are things that tell me these guys are not focusing on what they have to do. The T20s that are upon us is going to be interesting to see the squad that is put out, how they go. I'm not really writing my thing on West Indies cricket. I can see as they go along, because we're still playing the same callous cricket, it looks like. And if we continue to play this kind of cricket, we're not going to go far. We need to knuckle down and play serious cricket and get to understand that cricket has evolved. And we can't go around looking to hit sixes all the time. We have to be more constructive in our batting and smarter in our bowling and more clinical in our finishing to beat teams.
Well, I was going to say that will be more exposed in the 2020 format. amount of dot balls we face. And according to Sammy, you make it up by hitting 2 boundaries or 3 boundaries in every over. How often you can do that? And all the teams are matching us now with power hitting. So we're staying stagnant. That was our strength in years gone by, well, recently. And my friend in Jamaica is telling me that the weather forecast there is not too good. Basil, how do you see the first one day? What went wrong?
Just one of the things I want to address what Tony said in terms of not playing enough cricket. I raised that issue on another program with DOC as to Mr. Hope not playing any cricket. Ross and Chase, you remember he missed the first game Barbados played, and this loading of the fast bowlers. Now we got a situation with the Guyana's Joseph, who is in and out, having to come back to Guyana. I don't know, you probably could fill us in for some personal reason. So, and you could see that in and out playing cricket shows up in his performance. He's not as consistent. He doesn't hit the ground running from ball one because of that inconsistency of playing a lot of cricket. And I also cautioned about players getting excess rest could lead to injury because your tissues and so on have not built up to the intensity that you're going from just playing in the nets straight into elite cricket with nothing in between can cause some problems. And we saw both players, Ford and Hope, and Ford was somebody who was coming off of injury, right? Now going to the series, when I saw Ross and Chase got the ball to spin when we were bowling to Sri Lanka, right away I said, oh Lord, this is gonna be a long day because they got good spin bowlers, right? And I agree with Philo. Look, you drop a ball the first game is something to me, that is a coaching issue. And why I say this, the team is not in tune from ball one. The intensity, ready to play. Those are the things you usually blame the coaches for, not getting the team ready to play. Like here in the United States, when we got the playoff, the basketball, and a team come in, for example, and get in the first quarter, get run off the court, is because they did not come ready to match the intensity. And we did not come from ball one to match intensity, because had we done that, we would be saying something different. And from what I heard, as a result of us losing that game, Bangladesh won today against Australia.
Yeah.
We went back by 1 point. Bangladesh went ahead. So from the odds are now it's almost a nil situation. The odds are really stacked. We're going to be looking again at qualifiers because 5 games against New Zealand, I doubt whether we are going to beat New Zealand 5 straight games. And then the last 3 games we got in October against India in India. I mean, we got to go on the trot for us to get any chance. And I don't think those odds are well in our favor. So I think we're staring down the barrel again at another qualifiers. And we better be ready this time around because it will be mightily embarrassing if we go to qualifiers and don't make it out of the qualifiers for 2 consecutive World Cups.
Well, we've just lost technically 2 times, and we've got 11 more chances. We've got 11 games, including those 3 that are gone, and we've lost 2 technically.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've got
8 games left.
8 games left.
8 games left.
5 against New Zealand.
We've got 5 games against New Zealand.
And 3 against India.
3 against India and Afghanistan. 3 against Afghanistan.
From what I understand, the cutoff was India.
March.
I can be wrong. I thought it was India was the
No,
cutoff.
I think it's March.
Okay. All right,
So
gotcha.
then
But
Afghanistan would
if
be
the cutoff
included
is
in that.
March, let's be real here. We have 5 ODIs against New Zealand.
Yeah.
What are West Indies' chances of beating New Zealand in the Caribbean in 5 ODIs? Then we go to India. What are our chances of beating India in India?
Right. So
India becoming back out of England from a series. Then we have to play Afghanistan. I don't know if Afghanistan games count because Afghanistan games are in 2027. I am not certain. But if they do, we have to make sure that against New Zealand that we actually beat New Zealand and beat New Zealand 4-1 to give ourselves
A chance.
a
And we're
chance.
lucky. We were talking about funding, CARICOM, and all of these things coming up and funding. And we're lucky that the New Zealand series is still on because all 5 matches were scheduled for Guyana. The cricket board, apparently, most cricket boards don't have any money. So the government of Guyana stepped up and the government of Barbados stepped up. And 2 matches now are in Barbados and 3 in Guyana. The series in effect was in limbo. So that's good. But those 5 matches and the 3 against India, well, I too thought that they would have been a cut-off time. The Afghanistan series would be after the cutoff, but Tony
Yeah,
could be right. But let's look tomorrow night. 8:30 Guyana time or Eastern Caribbean time, 7:30 Jamaica time. The first T20. The team, Shai Hope, Joel Andrew, Akeem Augusti, Ruston Chase, Matthew Ford, Shimron Hetmeyer, Akil Hussain, Jason Holder, Shamar Joseph, Brandon King, Gorekesh Moti, Rovman Powell, Sherfin Rutherford, Romario Shepard, and Shamar Springer. This is a question for Tony. Were the Trinidadians surprised that there's no Joshua De Silva in any of the white ball matches?
no, not really. He's more suited for the test matches. When you look at his performance during the regional tournament, including a double century, I think that he's done everything to get back in the West Indies team. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, think that he is supposed to be in a conversation when it pertains to wicketkeeper batsmen or batsmen who wicket keep. You know, I don't see that way. I don't think that he should be in a conversation. I think that he is a conversation.
Well, he'd make
And
the
I think
team as a
that most
batter.
likely, pardon me?
He'd make the team as a batter.
Well, no, but I think that he should be there as a wicketkeeper batter because of the fact that you don't want to shift the balance of the team. I think that we have to be careful when it comes to these things. So I am looking forward to see him back in the test team because he's more suited for that. When it pertains to this T20 team, I said it openly and I'll say it again. I don't think that Joel Andrews should be playing T20 cricket because we have to develop him in the right way. Where is he going to bat? And the stress levels that you're going to put on him, you will curtail his development. So I am saying no to him. The other thing that I want to ask is what's happening with Zari Joseph, because he went to Pakistan. The reports is that he was fit enough. He played this one-day game against Sri Lanka, and we're not seeing him in a T20. The other thing is that Samson, who went to the World Cup, he's not there, so I'm not sure what is going on. And this is what we need in West Indies cricketer. We need stability, we need practicality, we need logic. And we're going against logic here because I don't think that Joel Andrews should be there. He's not suited. I mean, he had a poor regional tournament. He averaged below 10 or something like that. And you should be looking to send him to, well, he should have been on the
A team.
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah, that is being played right
The
now.
academy team.
I don't understand what is the rush. He's 19 years old. And you watch him bat, you can see there are things that he needs to be working on before he steps up to the international level. And he needs to play more cricket, particularly red ball cricket, to iron out some of those fundamental things that you see that he does, when you watch him bat. So I would, I agree with you because this question was brought up about Samson.
The same can be said of Samson.
Made the World Cup
Yeah,
team.
Samson
He didn't play a game. and we come back home, the first T20 squad, and there's no Samson. And it's like, well, what happened in here? What's the reason you don't have Samson in the squad? If he was supposedly good enough to be
But
in the
Samson's
squad for the World Cup.
susceptible to the short lifting ball.
No, we're not I am saying these things tongue in cheek, Sean. Because you know my position as to why about Samson even being selected to the World Cup.
Yeah.
But Tony is raising the critical point, the inconsistency and the lack of accountability. Now, again, the question about Alzari Joseph. Alzari Joseph bowls in one game and he can't play in the T20. Is that because
remember the test series is just around the corner, June 25, and he should be one of the frontline bowlers there. So maybe he's being rested.
No, but hold on. Again, you're gonna be resting him. Again, you need to be building up this guy to the World Cup. So at least bowl some overs at high intensity. You don't have to play all 3 matches, right? Because this T20 series doesn't count for qualification or anything of the sort. But you're looking to give him preparation time for the World Cup. I mean, for the test matches, bowling in the nets in the camp is not going to give him that intensity because he's going to be having to bowl to the same batsmen, some of the same batters that he's going to face in the test match. So why not give him that opportunity?
A good example of this is this guy from the fast bowler from England, fastest bowler.
Jofra.
No, he went to the Ashes. Bowl against us. He bowled 97.1.
Mark Wood.
Mark Wood.
Mark Wood.
Yes.
Mark Wood didn't play for a long time. Right? They kept him for the Ashes series. They build him up and that sort of thing. He didn't play a game.
He break down in the Ashes.
He break down. He bowled 11 overs and back home. It's the same sort of thing.
Yes.
It defies logic. If you're trying to build a fast bowler or batsman or anybody, and one of the things that we don't understand, we're taking these players out of rhythm, out of psychological rhythm, out of technical rhythm. I mean, Alzari Joseph, like a lot of the fast bowlers that we have, are rhythm bowlers. They need to be playing consistently. Let me go back to Joel Andrews, for example. What in people's mind think that he's a generational talent? He made 130 against South Africa in 2 previous on a 19
yes.
Right? First game. And then all of a sudden he is this generation.
Right.
That's amazing. We are thirsty. We're looking for talent so quickly that we're damaging them. They had to go through the process. He has not shown consistency. And when you're looking at talent, elite talent and generational talent, you have to see it from 15 to 19 and so on.
Listen.
I also heard from some Guyanese mentioning Jonathan Van Lang name in the T20s.
This is my take on the whole thing.
That's it, Salah.
We have sat down and we have allowed one man to control our cricket. One man who does not even understands cricket, and he's been doing what he feels like. We have a West Indies squads leave this country, leave the region, and you don't know who's in the squad until they arrive in the country. I think it is sheer disrespect to us as stakeholders of West Indies cricket. We have Ogis, who is now walking into our one-day cricket. Everybody says a talent. We have Joel Andrews. Is he going to keep making? Is he going to fill out? What are the reasons of picking these guys at this young age? There's an 18 game that guys will be leaving. Some guys are leaving Barbados to go to Antigua to prepare for. Why can't those 2 boys be down there as well to hone their skills in red ball cricket? What is the facade about young men playing T20 cricket because of a young man in India at 15? And they're not even certain if he's 15 years old yet. So we are just following what the other international teams are doing. There's no pattern to our cricket. Alzari Joseph was given an NOC to go to Pakistan and play the PSL. Sri Lanka has a three T20 series against West Indies, and the man who you give the NOC to go and play T20 cricket
isn't in the team.
And there's no reason given why. But you gave him a NOC to play T20 cricket. Well, we all said that he should have stayed home and play red ball cricket. But the White Loss T20 series is starting now. He's nowhere to be seen. Why? What is the reason? There's no reasons behind why things are happening and what they're doing in West Indies cricket. I wish the squad the best. I don't undervalue Sri Lanka. I think Sri Lanka is a very good emerging side because they've changed their entire staff. And Gary Kirsten is a smart coach. Gary Kirsten would not have taken that job if he didn't have visions of glory and the challenge that he can bring to those players. And that is what he's going to do. We have the same systems going for our cricket. We play the same type of cricket. The ODI series, that one game, we played the same type of cricket. We were lost when the spinners came on. And then we were looking for sixes and fours. Then we have Ross and Chase slugging and getting bowled. The same cricket we play.
You saw that shot Rutherford played?
But Shafir Rutherford, something is mentally wrong with him. He needs, no, I'm telling you, because when he plays for West Indies, he looks lethargic. He has no energy. There is something wrong with Shafir Rutherford. And if nobody addresses the issue, it's going to get worse for him. We saw it in the T20 World Cup. He was woefully out of form. Then he went to the IPL. He had some performances. Then he got dropped. So something is wrong. But we don't have the skilled people who understand psychological problems in cricketers. Tony Gray is at the University, UTT, the University of Trinidad and Tobago. And these are people that should be around our cricket to help our cricketers. But because you tend to be vocal about the truth, and the truth is always right, but it's not popular, you'll find yourself on the periphery of West Indies cricket. And that needs to change. West Indies cricket need to get people who understands people and who understands the dynamics about international cricket. We have a management unit that failed us in the World Cup, but they're still in Jamaica. And we now lost the one-day series 1-0, and they're still in place. And nobody speaks about that. If you continue to have losers around you, you can win.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break for commercial sake, and then we'll be right back on the other side.
It's here! Igloo Ice Cream Fruit Bars. 4 mouth-watering flavors. Mango, pineapple, strawberry, and soursop. A beautiful combination of real fruit and igloo ice cream. Go old school with fluty popsicle. Classic flavors and refreshing goodness. Available at Igloo outlets and all your favorite shops. You don't leave anything to chance. Every day you click it, lock it, and mask up. Now press, rub, and wash with Sterling Super Soap. Our antibacterial formula eliminates 99.9% of all germs and bacteria. Clean and moisturize your hands with 4 refreshing and rejuvenating fragrances. Get super clean with Sterling Super Soap.
Looking for quality lumber for your dream home or an upcoming project? Then make Builders Lumberyard your premier provider. We provide a full selection of rough and dress lumber, such as Green Heart, Purple Heart, Kabakali, all types of mixed hardwood, Silver Bali, Ditarma, and many other species. We also stock clean and knotted pine doors in various sizes, qualable posts, farm boards, plywood, and all types of molding. Orders can be cut to any specification and delivered to your worksite. With over 25 years of experience in the lumber industry, we are determined to provide a quality lumber that meets our home builders and contractors' every need. Builders Lumberyard and you will always be a winning combination. Visit our main office at 12 Lombard and Deroy Street or our branch office at 66 Ben Street, Georgetown, or telephone 225-9530 227-0904.
Finger licking good, yeah, yeah. Got me in the mood for sharing. Come and join the party at KFC. Get a singer sandwich, I take a bite. It's the best flavor, best vibes. Get a bucket with your friends, pass it to the left, and have the best time of your life. Finger licking good, yeah, yeah. Got me in the mood for sharing. Come and join the party at KFC, at KFC.
Good evening. Welcome back to the Sean Devers Cricket Sean Dever, Sports Watch. It's 25 minutes getting up to the hour of 9 o'clock. Fellas, we talk and we talk and we talk, and there's nothing being done. What are the solutions in your mind? Because West Indies cricket is one of the longest lasting institutions. That was in the 1920s it started. UWI, the University of the West Indies, and CARICOM lately are also long-lasting institutions. But West Indies cricket is very important to our region. It's supposed to bring unity. It's now bringing division more than unity. So what can we do? What is the solution? Because we've already seen most boards are apprehensive in getting former players involved, maybe, allegedly, that because of they don't want the competition, they don't want to be overshadowed by the players who know cricket. And so what can be done? We've got to change the culture of the cricket board.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a broken record that we've been talking and talking for umpteen years. And I just said simply, at the territorial level is where the rubber meets the road. And we are nowhere close enough. We have programs here and there, but a systematic structure pathway, professionally run, is not in place in any of the territories. And until we have that in place throughout the territories, we're gonna be having this conversation. What should be done? What should be done? Because again, West Indies board is now who produce the players. The players produced in the territories. Yeah. And from school, all age group, 6, 7, 8 years old, all the way through to first class. They're in the territories, and we that's where the disconnect seems to be. We do piecemeal things, but nothing systematic anywhere in the territory.
Well, Tony Pope, my program, he came half an hour early, so he was privy to the Bihari group of companies and the Ministry of Education. They're hosting an 8-team tournament in Guyana, first time ever, a national secondary school under 19. But to my mind, well, this is the first year, and some of them don't know a lot about cricket, as the football man said. Troy Peters, he's from Petra. But one of the things that I would have done, but it's already set at the format, is don't play 2020 cricket for school children. Even if you play 30 overs, we used to play 40 and 50 in our days. We grew up in that school playing 40 overs cricket. But they said they looked at that and they decided that maybe, I don't know why, but maybe the length of teams and whatever. But that's a good initiative in its general sense. They're bringing back cricket now to schools. Tony was there to hear what the people... He even made a contribution about cricket in schools, cricket in Trinidad. As you said, that is the way the grassroots, children 8, 9, learning to play. But the other hand, you've got to have proper coaches. Because if somebody gets to 18 and they're writing A-levels and they leave school and they're balanced, they're bright and they're talented, but if they don't have proper coaching, it goes back to not. Because I heard Phil Simmons say at the test level, you don't want to be teaching batters which hand to change when you're going for singles and so on. That's supposed to be done on the 19 level.
Not on the 19, that's supposed to be done at age 12. 7,
school
8,
level.
8 years old.
Yeah.
Or the 12.
Sean, I would... I just want to say this. It's nice you're having this thing in Guyana, but however, the infrastructure to have it be something sustaining is the thing that you have to make sure of. And that's where...
When you talk about infrastructure, what do you mean?
What I mean, what one of the things, infrastructure, i.e. coaches, that's one very important infrastructure, because if these youngsters are not instructed properly, you're just having them run around to play competitive cricket matches. And what benefits are they going to get out of it?
I'll make it my duty to go and see some of these matches to cover them, but I would be cringing if I see bowlers pelting and umpire saying nothing.
I mean, Sean, you remember the last iteration and effort to bring back school cricket in Guyana about 10 years ago.
Yeah, most of the bowlers were pelting, and the umpire said if they call the bowlers, they would have walkovers.
Yes, most of the bowls were pelted. So why, to me, rather than getting school competitions, I would like to start introducing the game back into schools, teaching the youngsters to play. And when they have reached a certain level of competence, then you could start thinking about having them play competitively, right?
Yes.
So therefore, you will have a program in the school to be introducing the youngsters and having them play cricket. And when they're good enough, then we could start.
Well, I'm sure the Barbie schools would dominate this tournament.
No, let me come in here. I mean, you asked a question, Sean, about what can be done about West Indies cricket. There's a lot to be done about West Indies cricket. We have to change our mindset, first of all, to being process-oriented and using the logical, sequential path to development, all right? And be patient with it. Because we haven't been patient with it. We're trying to recapture the glory days without doing what the people in the glory days did. So we're doing the opposite of what used to happen, right? Success can transcend into any era. And that's the problem that we have. We feel that we have to bring novelty items into this era. We are still enslaved by other people. We used to beat England 5-0. Away and home.
But being the devil advocate, Tony, in the glory days, there was no T20 cricket. That's a distraction. People want to go for money. And you can't stop that.
The other thing is that, no, just hold on. We have to be research-oriented. The success lies in the past. Basil Butcher Jr. father would have given him a lot of wisdom about the game. So now he could come. Didn't play for West Indies, didn't play for Guyana, but he could come and make a wonderful contribution. So we have a generation gap, all right? It's societal too, but we have a generation gap that a lot of the wisdom from the past is not used today. And that's part of the problem. The other thing that we have to do is assess and evaluate our youth system. Because in my opinion, and you were there, Sean, 2003, we have implemented laws to retard our psychological strength.
Yeah.
That thing about fast bowling rule and that sort of thing. We have to understand what has happened. So research is the key, education is the key, and then implementation is the key. But we are not that way inclined. So we look into cover sores that are there, that are getting deeper and deeper. And we're not doing the right things, right? Our attitude needs to change, first of all.
I think to add to what Tony says, Sean, there is a societal thing where anything from the past is not as good as present.
Yeah.
And we have this tendency to push aside stuff in the past. Now, Sean, you brought up earlier the cricket. We got admitted into Test cricket in 1928. It took us about 30-something years before we could compete on the same level with the Australians and Englands, right? So you look at that history and think about it. In that time, we were playing more cricket domestically within our territories than we are today, right? And we took all of those years. So we have to look at what we did and try to bring those principles to today and look at the environment today, what we have, how we can put those principles in place in today's environment, right? Rather than this piecemeal. We've been piecemealing for the last 30-odd years. And rather than going up the ladder, we've been sliding down the hill, right? It's time, and Tony's correct, it's time for us to take true stock, not just put a plaster on the wound. Be honest and say, look, what we're doing is not up to par. What do we, I feel, Tony, I said this. I would love to have the job to go around the Caribbean to every territory, spend about 2 weeks in every territory, observing all the cricket from grassroots to the territorial team, looking at the methods of practice, the coaching, etc., rather than we assuming that these are why X, Y is going on. Let's get the empirical evidence. That's when you always harping about research. That is the research we have to do so that we can have a clear picture of where the deficiencies are throughout, rather than assuming.
Right. So Basil, listen to this. I topped the region in the level 3 coaching course about 8-9 years ago. I was supposed to go to Loughborough University to do my level 4. My father came, got sick, and died eventually. But the way I coach, I use the pass a lot together with the modernization of the game. So it's a balance. The psychology of the game, for example, when I coached the Trinidad and Tobago on the 19 team, I realized that we were too soft. We were not aggressive enough. You know what I mean? We fell asleep during the breaks, and I used soca music, things like that. I was attached to 2003 when we did the double on the 19 level in Guyana. I was attached to Margaret Otley, a sports psychologist that worked with America, the Olympic teams. And she talked about things like samba and football, how the society and the culture impacts performance. You know what I mean? So I was able to bring about the balance, not just use what people tell me, but evaluate and be pertinent to our situation. We can't just take things when people bring things. Picking up the bat, for example, Basil, myself, and Philo discuss it. Why not tap the bat?
Exactly.
The natural rhythm of our people, It's something that we could research on, and we could bring the universities into that research type of oriented way.
Correct. I mean, Philo, I heard earlier today in the program, and Philo could talk more about this. We talk about old time. One of former Barbados player captain talked about Philo. They were clubmates, and Philo was a senior man. And the man said he felt good making 30-something. And Philo backed him up and said, no. 30-something is not good enough. At first, he didn't understand. And then a few years later, he understood what Philo was trying to transmit to him. That if you want to play this cricket at the next level, 30-somethings can't work.
The thing is, too, is that, okay, I'm doing local commentary for Barbados cricket for the BCA. We're doing streaming.
Yeah,
I've done 2 games. Well, I've done 2 games streaming and 2 games on radio.
Last 2 weekends, yes.
But the beauty about it is that I spoke to 3 batters in the 4 weeks I've been working, and all 3 of them score hundreds, just from talking. Because my thing is that the cricketer needs help. The cricketer needs cricketers who understand what is required of them to be successful. We have a lot of people around cricketers who don't understand cricketers. We have a lot of managers of teams that never manage cricketers, never played the game. They might have played at a junior level, but have not played at a real serious level competitively. So they don't understand the intricacies of cricket. And my thing is that if the boards continue to ostracize the former cricketers who are capable and able enough to make the contributions, we are going to continue to be struggling with our development. You could go to any county in England or any state side in Australia, and you will see the number of former cricketers are involved in the developmental programs.
Correct.
We in the region have a blanket to our former cricketers who are willing and able to make contributions. And I'm going to say again is that former cricketers who are capable and able to help our cricketers should be involved in cricket. I'm speaking of even at the club level in the various territories.
Yes.
And these are things that need to happen, because if you can get the former cricketers who are capable and able enough in the clubs at the region, in the territorial boards, at the territorial board level, club level, when you get those players in with those club players and they develop their skills, then the cricket becomes better.
Exactly.
And then when they move to go to trials for the franchise, that is more competitive cricket.
Exactly.
When they get into the franchise system, it is competitive you have a competitive unit to take down to represent, let's say, the Ghana franchise at the cricket, let's say these for their championship. So competitiveness starts from this. Well, it can start at schools, to the clubs, to trials, to the franchise. So you have the competitive wheel turning all the time. But it can only happen if you have the right tools in the
Oh, well, let me
schools to
tell you about
develop it.
Guyana. Guyana has a good system, but everybody who could play a role in the club as mentors, coaches, they're overseas or they're dead. And another thing, Ghana don't have trials. Back in the days, when I used to play, and for the back, you play the intercounty and you have 5 trial matches. And that is no longer done. The intercounty now becomes the trials, and people now bat for selection on the team. They don't care about the team winning or nothing. So that's the trials, and it's made a mockery of the intercounty. And back in those days, 3 teams played intercounty because Ghana has 3 counties. Now they're bringing in another team.
Presidency 11.
Yeah, Presidency 11, and those teams are getting beat bad.
John, I would add to this. I think one of the mockeries that has occurred in this whole picture is this giving of 15 contracts to each territory when 15 guys are not worthy of getting such contracts. So as a result, because let me tell you, if you had, say, you really do a proper evaluation and say, oh, well, we only got about 6 guys that really deserve to get contracts, means that trial matches can mean something, because when you have trial matches and you already got 15 contracted players, you're hard pressed to pick somebody outside of the contracted players to play for the country, right? So, but if you have 6, now it's serious competition to pick the other 8 guys to make the 13. So nobody could sit back and relax, you know. And then what Philo is talking about that competitive, the standard level raising. And my dad always said to me, what Philo talking about talking to the players, he always said to me, 99% of the cricket he learned was in the dressing room. And when I talk to other players who have been great West Indian cricketers,
but they're no longer those players in the dressing room now. First division cricket is played with.
But Sean, you have to understand. You have to understand, and you know, Basil is right. My thing is that in today's world, the society is different. Guys are egocentric and selfish, and they don't really listen to the elders. That's part of the problem. They don't really listen to the elders that can lend, service to them learning about the game. So they want to leave quickly. We have to make sure, because they're not going to do it on their own. You have to understand the general psyche. They feel that we are older now, our time has passed. I look at another podcast and they're saying uncles, calling us uncles. But that is foolish. Because it is really foolish, because I believe strongly, being at the University of Trinidad and Tobago, I believe strongly that we are ahead of sports science. Everything that we used to do, we are supposed to do in this era still.
Correct.
Right? But what has happened is that the general psyche has changed with society, and we have to find ways of means of being a little bit more sterner, a little bit more authoritative in sending the past to them, because they're missing out on this wonderful knowledge and wisdom that we had from the past. We are ahead of sports science.
Tony, if you ask a couple of players.
Things like cross-training. Things like cross-training. Basil, things like cross-training.
Yes,
we used to do all those things.
Sean, what you're talking about, the older players not being around, etc. The people that's supposed to fill that gap are the coaches. So therefore, it's important you have competent coaches at the lowest levels, because that's where the player learns their fundamentals. You don't put any Tom, Dick, and Harry to go and coach youngsters. You put your best people there. I know here, Garfield Charles from Guyana, played for Guyana, lives in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Garfield, I remember I met a couple from New Zealand 20 years ago at the World Cup. They came to see their son. I was with the US setup. And they're talking. So I say, I have a friend in New Zealand named Garfield Charles. I said, oh, we know Garfield lives up the street from us. And the husband was working with Cricket New Zealand, and he was telling me they have taken Garfield from the under 19s and have brought him down to deal with the under 15s because Cricket New Zealand did their research, did their whatever they needed to do, and they found the earlier the youngsters were exposed to good coaching, it boded well for them in the development down the line. And Garfield was rated as one of the best coaches.
Yeah.
And they brought him down to deal with the under 15s. And I would ask this question, Tony, for example, in the franchise system, I want to hear your comments on this. We usually got two coaches, the head coach and an assistant coach. I asked the question to somebody I know in the setup. Are you in charge of, like, say you were assistant, are you in charge of, say, the bowlers, and the other guy would be in charge of the batters? But I said, no, we don't do nothing like that. We just take. So I said, how are you being evaluated? How can we know you are a good coach, right? So the system, even at the franchise system, our coaches are not being able to develop because even say, let's say, a guy at one of the franchises was in charge of the bowlers, and you saw that he had some deficiencies, you would say, okay, we got to help this guy and get him more educated so he can fulfill that role, which is going to help the bowlers coming out of that territory. But if we just plain master, jack of all trades, master of none, we have no way of evaluating our coaches as to whether they're good or not.
Philo, you want to respond to that?
No, the thing is that, Sean, that that's just said a mouthful. When you look at a player's development starts at the junior level. You cannot develop a player at senior level. All the talent starts when he's young, and that is where it should be honed. But if we don't have the decision makers strong enough to make those decisions for our cricket, we are going to continue to suffer. Well, and that is why it is so important how they deal with Joel Andrews and Akeem Ogis, because if they don't handle those two young men well, they're going to fall astray because they are at a very infant stage of their international careers and starting at the hardest format, which is T20. A lot of bad habits can creep in from that format. T20 cricket almost finished Ruston Chase before he made a turnaround to come back at red ball cricket. It almost destroyed Shea Hope. And we need to understand that we don't need to force our young cricketers into bad habits because we're looking for sensations. There's a man called Kyle Mears that nobody seems to consider anymore in West Indies cricket. He just scored 180-something not out for his club to win the game. He won the game single-handedly, along with a young under-19 cricketer called Kemar Dixon. Now, he's playing Division 1 cricket, but he's there showing them the ropes and contributing. These are the kind of things that we want to see in our cricket, where the senior players can be around the juniors and help them. That is the only way they are going to develop. It's not about going in the nets. Hold on, it's not about going in the nets and coaching. It's about getting senior players who understand the game to impart their knowledge with those players. Shamar Joseph could be a better fast bowler if he had someone to talk to him. Alzari Joseph would be a better fast bowler if he would listen to someone that is willing to help him. All of them. But because we don't encourage those type of players around, all cricketers are learning on the job and learning from themselves, so they're going to go around.
But that's the difference with a lot of the other territories and Guyana. Because of several reasons, the former players, you call Garfield Charles, you spoke about their father telling you they learned their cricket in the dressing room. But that's not happening in Guyana because most of the players, where is Garfield Charles? In New Zealand. So none of the players now that play for division cricket have the opportunity to listen to anybody who has been there and done that. They're playing among themselves. I will tell you a story about Garfield Charles. In 1987, I was 16. That's my first time I went to senior trials. In those days, the people in the team were your coaches. You didn't have to have a specified coach. They coach you once. And Garfield, I was running in front of the wicket, in front of the umpire. And when I appealed for like BW, Mr. Haynes, who was a first-class umpire, he was always saying that you were running in front of me. So Garfield Charles, at the end of the first day of the trials, he said he put, those are innovations that he think up by itself. He put a board with nails in the middle of where I was running, in front of the wicket. And I didn't run there at all.
Right.
Because I was afraid of being bored. So,
Exactly.
so that gave me now the opportunity to do it over and over and over again, and eventually it became a habit. So I eventually was going on my right valve through. And I didn't run in front of the umpire anymore. That's why I'm saying now that these people who were there in Guyana, Barbados is very good. All the players are there. And even our present players, they're gone to America, anywhere that they get money. So that's the problem in Guyana.
Yeah, we got a serious brain drain when it comes to cricket in Guyana.
Yeah.
A serious brain drain. I mean, and look, this goes back a long way, because I could think my dad and Roy Fredericks are probably the only guys from that era that never emigrated. Everybody else did.
Yes.
Yeah, but Sean, Guyana has 15 contracted players. I mean, none of them don't play elite cricket.
You got a bunch of them in the States right now.
Yeah.
Like we just finished the fifth round of matches, and Warwick played two out of those 5 matches. He took 7 wickets against Senior Finance Barbados Youth last weekend to win the game for his club, AA Auto Empire. But he played the West Indies Test.
Well, Leon Johnson is the only one that played international cricket that plays in Georgetown. And he plays only one-day cricket. He says
that?
Yeah, he can't make it for 2 consecutive days because he's got his business and all of these things.
Who's that?
Leon Johnson.
Oh,
plays with GCC.
Look, I was watching the Barbados cricket 2 weeks ago, and Tino Best is playing.
And he has he's one of the fastest at 45 years old.
Just like when Tino played for the West Indies, and with the same passion, like when he was playing for the West Indies, Tino get a wicket and take off his shirt in celebration.
Yes, right? I was doing that game.
Yes, I know you were commenting at Windwards. I mean, when I saw Tino was going to play, I said, please let the wicket fall. I want to see Tino ball. And Tino did not disappoint me. And to see a guy at 45 years old.
Yeah, but it's important to note that a lot of people feel passion cannot be taught, you know. Passion can be taught.
Yeah, it could rub off. You watch
it. Rub off, yes. The American sporting system will show you that.
You see a guy who already, he ain't going nowhere with this cricket, but he played at this level, and this is the way
he has pride in his performance.
Right. So therefore, a youngster will look at that and want to emulate that. And I mean, that's the one thing I like about Barbados is that you go. When I went there 2 years ago, I saw Warwick play in a match for Empire. Rustin Chase is playing for his club.
And especially in the Division 2 in Barbados, all the older persons play. Because I remember back in the day when I went there, Telston Payne used to play.
Yeah, the one thing Barbados cricket culture still maintains that thing that nowhere else don't have it like them. Where a lot of their players pass. Look, Miguel Cummins, I saw him running in bowling the other day. Ashley Norris is playing. Kevin Stout is the leading scorer.
Yeah, but Basil, that part of the overall culture.
Exactly.
There's a certain amount of pride and ego about the way they play sport, and that's part of their culture.
Yes. I mean, that's the thing I always admire about Barbados going back years. You know, when you'll be watching the test match and they flash the camera, you see all these former West Indian cricketers that played in the place. Where Guyana, you might get 2 or 3 of them, right? Barbados, you see a whole I went to Barbados. That's when I met
Yeah.
Philo, 2008, and I got a chance to be in the BCA. They got a Legends box, and one evening after the day's play, all of them former Barbados test crews, all of them come over to the Legends, and I sit down there. I was like in a sit down Webber, Charlie Griffith, all these men, and the father, all of them, you know, they talking.
And
all
and
the
Barbados is proud of their players. They've got
Oh
they're
yes,
the
man.
only country in the West Indies that's got a Legends museum.
Exactly.
When you go into that museum, I think it's still run by Desmond son, Philo.
No. The Cricket Legends Museum is run by Cricket Legends. It's in Fortebell, just adjacent
Yeah, I
to
thought
Kensington Oval.
I went there and I saw Desmond
Malcolm
son.
Harsh's used to work
Yeah.
with the organization
But
Mali, but no,
Legends,
that museum
yeah,
was all set up a couple years ago by the former Prime Minister Wayne Arthur, who
Yeah.
gave us that building is a National Trust building,
Yeah.
given to us by the government of Barbados for 99 years at Peppercorn Rank, and we've made it the home of Cricket Legends. When the Cricket Legends started back in 2005, we had the vision of obviously T20 World. The World Cup was coming in 2007, and we had this vision to actually promote former Barbados or West Indies cricketers. And then as it spread, we wanted to go through the region. But you know, when you go through the region, everybody is going to be the head. So we decided to abort that, and we just obviously concentrated on building our product. And once we can get our product off the ground better, I think that we are going to go and try to speak to some of the former cricketers in other territories, and I could if they could form the similar thing, and we will have a cricket legends of the Caribbean or West Indies cricket legends. And coming out of that, we can even travel the world to do speeches, to play cricket matches, those who are able to play over 50 matches, and try to keep former West Indies cricketers, former regional players and West Indies cricketers in tune, because a lot of us have fallen off the radar, not involved in cricket for some reason or another. And we need to engage those brilliant brains of those cricketers of yesteryear who would have thrown their bodies on the line for success with the territories. And these are things that the young cricketers need to understand, that when you're playing cricket, even at the junior level within a school, you still have to play with pride and passion. But you can only know how to play with pride and passion if you have the person or persons who have done it. If you go into a horse race, you have to carry a horse, because if you carry a donkey, you can't win. And these are things that the administrators need to understand, that cricketers who have done it, who have the capabilities of getting their stories over to these younger players, need to be involved in their cricket.
Yeah, but
That is why the Indians are churning out so many cricketers, because of the foreign influx of coaches. And the Indians are saying we are tapping into these foreign coaches to make our players better.
Yeah, but fellow Sir Gary Sobers is what, heading towards 90 years old?
Yes, he's heading towards 90, yes.
Right? 90 years old. We have
Yes.
lost a lot of superstars. People
Yes.
have made an indelible contribution to West Indies. And I know that he has an autobiography, but more than that, my thing is to go around the Caribbean and the people who have made strong contributions to West Indies cricket and West
Document
Indies
it.
society. We must
Document it.
document stuff.
Yes.
And a lot of the
Next week,
students in
Next week,
schools.
next week,
and
Wednesday,
then
next
not
week, Wednesday
document
and
stuff.
Thursday, cricket legends are going to visit Sylvester Hall at his house and Cammy Smith at his house, because they're not as strong as they used to be. So they can't come to us. We will go to them and spend at least an hour with them on each day,
Document
Wednesday
stuff.
and Thursday. Because
but
you
that's the
have to
difference
preserve
with
that
Guyana.
legacy. You have to make them still know that people out there care for them,
Love
although
them.
they're aging.
Yeah.
And they sit down, they talk cricket, they laugh, they have fun. But that hour we spend with those great men are great. Now, Sir Gary is not of the strongest mind, so we don't infiltrate Sir Gary's circle. But we send greetings to Sir Gary via certain mediums to make him understand and his family understand that we're thinking about him and we want the best of him despite his aging. But we need to, the administrators of cricket need to understand these things, because you got a young generation of cricketers who don't know a lot about the past.
I spoke to some students the other day, and none of them ever saw Viv Richards' bat, even on video. Never. And their batters on the 19, nearing to make Guyana on the 19 team.
Yeah.
But Sean, I went to India. I never forget that, to play a over 40 game with Sir Richie Richardson, who was rooming with me. And every 2 channels was cricket something.
Yes, that's
I was
true.
showing, the
That's
history of cricket, the history of Indian cricket,
That's true.
technique,
That's
fitness level. That's amazing. So what
That's
you're doing, and I wouldn't use the word poison, but you invest in the minds of the youngsters very early. That is what you call investing into the future and transferring not just knowledge, but passion too.
Well, that's the
And we have
problem
not
with
done that. Look
Guyana,
at
the
India.
history of things. In anything, Guyana doesn't keep history. Naming the stands, that's one thing. If you name stands, that I've been going over that since the stadium was built for the 2007 World Cup. The next year, 2008, when Sri Lanka came, I started the naming of the stadium, naming stands, names on the stadium.
So Clive Lloyd,
But
Providence.
I've
Clive
been
Lloyd,
to
Providence.
4 different sports ministers, 2 different governments, and nothing. So I've given up. Guyana is the
Clive
only
Lloyd.
place that doesn't have names on their
Stadium.
stands,
That's
on the
true.
international cricket grounds.
true.
Red, green, and orange. And Mr. Green, the Australian who came to play in the CPL, the man said, I just came, and the name was stand after me. He was, the green stand. But we don't, in Guyana, we don't have the culture of honoring our heroes.
No. We
Clive Lloyd Stadium.
yeah. I mean, I have said that for years. He's the most decorated Guyanese cricketer. He should name the stadium after him, and you put all the Guyanese cricketers.
Yeah, you could put 3 people on one stand, like Greenwich and Haynes in Barbados. And Red Spurrier would be hands down on the media center.
Right.
You could go one, like you got one stand, Kanai, Butcher, and Solomon. You know, that era. So, when a youngster click the name and say,
And they will be forced to Google it if you see a statue with
Exactly.
somebody and the name on something, then you would want to know why this person's name is on there. He must be somebody that did something, and then you'll Google and then you'll understand why.
That's one way the youngsters will start to realize.
I see it differently. I think the Providence Stadium should have a corporate sponsor as a stadium, name the stadium. Like how you have the Emirates Stadium, the Kaieteur Oval.
Yes.
I think, and then you have the pavilion name after the great Sir Clive Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
But that
at least
Providence
you have
Stadium
some
should
name.
have a big corporate sponsor, because at the end of the day, Sean, to manage the facility of Providence needs money, it's wear and tear. The corporate sponsor will come as the naming of the stadium against that corporate sponsor. They will, but they were sponsored to cover XYZ. Sir Clive Lloyd will have the pavilion, which I think it is a fantastic name for that pavilion. And around the stands, you could go with all the other greats. Should be right down the pole. You could even
The
have
bowling ends,
Shada
Lance
Paul
Gibbs, and
star
Colin
one
Cross.
stand. You can have
Those
Butcher
are
and
automatic
Kanai.
choices. The
You
northern
can have
end,
Frederick,
Lance Gibbs.
you
The
can have
southern end,
Fredericks
Colin
and
Cross.
whoever else. But you need to have something at that stadium that decorates the career of a man who have led our cricket wonderfully well, and who has been a success, and who has lifted our cricket from the doldrums and brought it to accolades. And these are things that we need to highlight. But if the administrators of our cricket don't see the value of a cricketer and prefer to put a basketballer name on the stadium, what do you expect? If you put square pegs in round holes, you think you can get them in?
Yeah, that's true.
So if people don't shape themselves for better, you will always get what you're going to get. Nepotism, mistakes, favoritism, and excuses. And these are the things that are hindering our cricket. Okay, I came onto your program, they're talking about a schools competition. All fine and well, but at the end of the day, the execution has to be spot on. And the players themselves have to have the right coaches around them. Now, that
That's what we
competition
were
is going to
discussing
start in
with the
Guyana,
panel.
Sean.
Yeah.
That is where people like Roger Harper should be involved as a mentor to a school. You got You got even Ned, who is coach the national team. You got
Laurie
Colin Stewart.
They have a
All
lot of
those men
people.
should be mentors to those teams. I don't know how many teams there are, but
80 teams.
you need to get the former cricketers involved at that level in order to make an impact on Guyana's cricket. Guyana's cricket was just shocked by the defeat to Trinidad.
Yeah,
It
congratulations to
showed the
you, Tony.
Caribbean that they're still vulnerable to good fast bowling.
Yeah.
Tony
So these are
called.
things that we have to be critical about, critical thinkers, and make critical decisions to make our cricket better. We want a cricket product in the Caribbean that is equal, with little disadvantages or advantages for some, but it is equal cricket. So when you go to Ghana, you choose a batter. You know you can play a bouncers, square cut, sweep, flick, duke, and spin. You come the same thing to Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Jamaica, leewers and windwards. All the players that have the same capabilities. You're selecting players now who perform. But if you're going to pick a man who don't play cricket because he's a friend, what do you expect to get in the end results?
When I went to Sri Lanka, who got test status in 1980, years and years after West Indies, I saw a practice facility with 8 pitches, replicating each pitch in each country of the world. And that was in Sri Lanka, known for spinning pitches. I was shocked when I saw that, when I saw the ball flying on one of the pitches. That's the practice facility. When I went to South Africa, I was asking what international match plays on that ground. The girl I was with told me that's a school ground.
Yes. Yes. But these are things that our administrators don't look at. Our administrators are going to talk about, oh, cricket is dying. We can't support this. We can't support that. But if you don't put into the infrastructure, what are you going to get? Out. So the infrastructure within the cricketing systems in the region need to be rehabilitated.
Yep.
In order to accommodate the influx of talent that is coming through. If not, the talent is going to go overseas to America. They're going to go to England. Some might even go to Canada, and they're going to play their cricket.
I was watching a test match in Bangladesh 2 years ago, and right outside at the side of the stadium, they was constructing something just like what Sean said, an indoor facility that will have pitches of all variant characteristics. So when a Bangladesh team is preparing to go to Australia, for example, they will be able to practice on pitches that would emulate the type of pitch conditions they'll see in Australia, etc., etc. We've heard they were supposed to be building such a thing in Guyana. This is a couple of years now, and it's still pending.
But Basil, what we saw in the heydays was exactly that, but it was just in different islands.
Right?
Around the region.
Right, in different islands.
Jamaica was like the Jamaica pitch was like a mirror.
Into countries now. But the other thing is that we are reacting to problems because we don't have a proactive nature. So, like for example, we have spin camps where batsmen have to learn at this stage to play spin. Look what happened in that first one day.
Yeah.
I mean, collectively, Tikshana and Hasaranga came and curtailed things, and
Correct.
we didn't find an answer to both of them. So my point is that if you look at Lara's, for example, Lara grew up with spinners, a lot of spinners. So he had the ability to play spin. So Vivian Richards grew up with Sir Andy Roberts. They played for the same club. So his pace he facing right through. So proactively, what has to happen is that potentially the good fast bowler, the good spinner need to grow up with a good batsman, and then they get exposed to different coaching environments and different playing environments. But that's not happening.
No.
All right, we run out of time. Any last words?
No, I think, Sean, West Indies cricket, there's a lot of comprehensive problems, and and what Tony says, I agree with 100%. We have not done the adequate research. We've been doing a lot of anecdotal, etc. We have not looked at the past. What did we do to get to where we were? I would end with this. I remember my dad wrote an article because people used to say West Indies cricketing didn't have no structure. how we became what we became. And he wrote an article, and that article was very educational for me, because he said that's not true, and he went through. He said in Jamaica, J.K. Holt was a leading coach, and he went around the country getting players. In Barbados, it was Everton Weeks. He was a national coach. In Trinidad, it was Jerry Gomez.
So West Hall too
did the same thing. And in Guyana, it was Clyde Walcott. And from there, from the 50s, all of these things were going on from in the 50s. And in the 60s, it came to fruition when we became the best team in the world, and then continue building. So there was a process what we did.
Oh, sure.
Let us look at those things today, because the countries are the same. We are not those Western nations with all the fancy things. We have to be able to put things in our environments so we could compete.
And since back in the days, players like Clyde Walcott played for Guyana and Jamaica. So now it's a big thing when the franchise started.
Yeah, and look, if Jamaica could continuously produce world-class athletes, small country, 2 million people, why we don't take those principles, and it can be done.
Tony, anything you want to say?
Yeah, just to mention again that in my estimation, doing my own research and going through a period of representing the West Indies team during the heydays, not for long, and now seeing what it has become, it's clear to me that we're not doing the right things consistently. And what we used to do, we can still do it now to bring about the progress of West Indies cricket. But we have to change a lot of different things. Our mindset, first of all, it starts internally first, not externally. We talk about physical structure and that sort of thing. All those things are excellent. But Usain Bolt didn't have all those things. He became the fastest man in the world. Brian Lara told somebody in that emergency meeting room after the 27 we made against Australia that he didn't have all those things they're talking about, and he could still make it big in this era.
Yep.
I am saying that we are ahead of our time, we are ahead of sports science, and then we have to do the research.
I was looking at the old YouTube with yourself and Bishop bowling for Trinidad, and to me, you were the best opening pair, and Searles and Phillips compared to you and Bishop.
You want me to comment on that?
No. I don't think they compare.
That would be a long thing.
Stats. Look at stats.
They got the stats, yes, but we're talking about pace.
Yeah.
Aggression and pace,
Yes.
hostility. And that's something quickly, Sean, that's something I realized there when I was playing for Trinidad and Tobago senior team. People are laughing at us. You know what I mean? I didn't have pace in 1984, and then Carl Ibes wanted the ball really fast, because he was talking while he was batting.
Yeah, he does commentary.
Commentating.
Yeah, I remember when he was playing Andy Roberts. He told me while we were doing commentary together behind the commentary box, he was saying that Roberts is in, bowls the best, hooks and down to the boundary for 4. And the next body, Andy bowled two slower bounce and a faster bounce. So the next body got knocked in his mouth. He said, we got to go for a break for technical reasons.
Yeah, but Sean, the one thing I want to say before we close is that we could produce any type of level of cricketer, right? That's a good example. Trinidad and Tobago used to say we don't have fast bowlers. We don't have fast bowlers. Look at the perpetuation of fast bowlers that we have had since I came on the scene. Ian Bishop, Marlon Blacks, Mervyn Dillon, Ravi Rampal, Shannon Gabriel. Now we have 2 of the best in the Caribbean. So we could produce anything that we want to. Is to open our minds and believe it and put structures in place.
The same thing with Guyana. Guyana never produced fast bowlers except Colin Croft. And now we've produced a lot of fast bowlers in the recent past. And most all of them except Kimo Paula from Berbice. Philo, quickly, you want to say anything?
Well, Sean, I just want to close by wishing West Indies T20 squad all the very best in the T20 series against Sri Lanka. And then they moved down to Antigua to have a 4-day trial match, a practice match against a select 11. I wish them the best as well. And then also the test series starts in Antigua. But we cannot forget that our women is going to start a World Cup campaign, T20 World Cup campaign in England.
Saturday.
And there's also the young men up in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, they're presently playing in Sri Lanka. I think Sri Lanka made 300 and something.
Rivaldo Clark is not out or something like that.
Yeah.
72 not out. 72.
He's continuous good form. So these are good positive signs of West Indies cricket. But we need to get the right tools around these potential stars to make sure that they continue to be consistent and understand West Indies cricket to the fullest.
All right, that's all we've got time for. On behalf of my technical man, who's been very patient with me, Mendonza. Mr. Mendonza he's also a DJ. I saw him on the program earlier today. And former West Indies cricketer Tony Gray, former West Indies cricketer Philo Wallace, and former West Indies cricketer's son, Basil Butcher.
I'm in good company.
Yeah, I'm sure they were saying if you can be good, then be careful.
All right, good night.
Now Milko has done it again. We've listened to you, and now available nationwide. Another convenient size packaging of Thunderbolt all-purpose flour. It's here. The 5 kg or 11 pounds new packaging of Thunderbolt all-purpose flour. Now available at your nearest supermarket.
Milko, National Milling Company of Guyana.
Dave's West Indian Imports is a wholesaler of all types of seafood with their own processing plant. Dave supplies supermarkets, restaurants, hotels, and bars. Place your orders now on telephone 501-4087 or 644-8999. With fresh seafood daily, Dave's offers custom cuts of your choice: snapper, trout, banger, gillback, shrimp, crab, and more. Order today. Dave's, Guyana's largest exporter to the USA.
Finger licking good, yeah, yeah. Got me in the mood for sharing. Come and join the party at KFC. Get a single sandwich, I take a bite. It's the best flavor, best vibes. Get a bucket with your friends, pass it to the left, and have the best time of your life. Finger licking good, yeah, yeah. Got me in the mood for sharing. Come and join the party at KFC, at KFC. Igloo sugar-free ice cream. Sugar-free ice cream.
Impossible that you're singing about ice cream without added sugar right now. I mean, how's that going to taste?
It's the best, most delicious I've ever tasted. The premium French vanilla flavor is so rich and velvety. Plus, my gym instructor approves. It's great for my weight loss.
So it's really delicious? Like you aren't kidding me? The children! No added sugar could be healthier for them. And Grandpa Glenn, with his diabetic condition. You mean he could finally enjoy desserts after all these years? I have to go. I have to get this.
Grab Igloo's sugar-free ice cream before she does.
We touch everything. Tables, toys, countertops, door handles, sinks. Mighty Foam's all-purpose cleaner is my secret weapon. Easy and effective with no sticky residue. Mighty Foam all-purpose cleaner. Enjoy all of life's textures.
Looking for quality lumber for your dream home or an upcoming project? Then make Builders Lumberyard your premier provider. We provide a full selection of rough and dress lumber, such as Green Heart, Purple Heart, Kabakali, all types of mixed hardwood, Silver Bali, Ditarma, and many other species. We also stock clean and knotted pine doors in various sizes, qualable posts, farm boards, plywood, and all types of molding. Orders can be cut to any specification and delivered to your worksite. With over 25 years of experience in the lumber industry, we are determined to provide a quality lumber that meets our home builders and contractors' every need. Builders Lumberyard and